It's 3 a.m. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Your mind won't shut off. That check engine light that came on yesterday, $800 to fix. Maybe more. Your laptop is making that weird clicking sound. Your credit card bill is due Friday, and you just got invited to your best friend's wedding 3 states away. Your brain is doing that thing again. Mental math at warp speed. Calculating, recalculating. Which bill can you push back? Can you skip lunch twice this week? Maybe you can tell your friend you can't make the wedding. Stop and think about that for a second. This isn't about being bad with money. This is your brain trapped in a hostage situation. Here's the truth that nobody tells you. The difference between someone with zero savings and someone with $10,000 in the bank isn't just financial, it's neurological. It's happening in your brain chemistry, your stress hormones, your ability to think clearly. $10,000 isn't a rich person's number, it's a psychological shield, a software update for your nervous system. And this video isn't about spreadsheets or compound interest formulas. This is about why your first 5 figures will fundamentally change your brain, lower your cortisol, and completely shift your life trajectory, even if you never touch a single dollar of it. Let's talk about the science of what happens when you finally have breathing room. Right now, if you have less than $1,000 saved, your brain is operating like a hostage negotiator. Research from Princeton found that financial stress literally reduces your cognitive bandwidth by up to 13 IQ points. That's like pulling an all-nighter, except you never get to recover. Here's what's happening biologically. When you're broke, your body pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol keeps you in survival mode. Your brain becomes laser focused on one thing. How do I make it through this week? You're not thinking about your future. You're thinking about your next meal, your next rent payment, whether that weird pain in your tooth is going to turn into a $2,000 dental bill. Scientists call this the scarcity mindset. Your brain is so consumed by the present emergency that it literally can't process long-term planning. But here's where $10,000 changes everything. The power of the buffer. Imagine this. Your car breaks down, $1,200 to fix. Without savings, full-blown panic. You're calling family, begging for overtime, putting it on a credit card at 24% interest. You're not sleeping, your stomach is in knots. You're snapping at your partner over nothing. With $10,000, you're annoyed, you're frustrated, but you transfer the money, get a car fixed, and move on with your week. Same event, completely different biological response. When you have that buffer, your cortisol levels drop. Your brain isn't screaming red alert every time you open your mailbox. You're not spending 40% of your mental energy calculating whether you can afford name brand pasta versus generic. You've freed up mental bandwidth. And not bandwidth, that's the energy you need to think about your future, to learn a new skill, to see opportunities you were previously too stressed to notice. Your brain shifts from survival mode to growth mode. Most people treat saving money like a diet. They do it for a month, they feel good, then they fall off the wagon and go back to their old patterns. But here's what's different about hitting $10,000. It creates an identity shift. You stop being someone who tries to save and you become someone who is a saver. And that distinction, it's everything. The power of promises. Think about the last promise you made to yourself that you didn't keep. Maybe you said you'd go to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe you said you'd finally start that side project. When you break promises to yourself, you erode something psychologists call self-trust. You start believing you're the kind of person who doesn't follow through. But when you hit $10,000, that's different. You just kept a promise to yourself over months or even years. You looked at every impulse purchase, every temptation, every friend inviting you out, and you said, not yet, I'm building something. And then you did it. That creates inner gravity, an unshakable belief that you are the kind of person who commits and executes. That confidence bleeds into every other area of your life, walking away money. But here's the real superpower of $10,000. It gives you options. That toxic job where your boss belittles you in meetings, you don't have to take it anymore because you know you have 3 to 6 months of survival time in the bank. That doesn't mean you quit tomorrow, but it means you walk into interviews differently. You negotiate your salary differently. You carry yourself like someone who has agency, not someone operating from desperation. People can smell desperation. And when you're not desperate anymore, everything changes. You stop accepting crumbs. You start asking for what you're worth. Let's be honest, the first $1,000 is brutal because saving that first $1,000 means changing everything. It means cutting subscriptions, saying no to nights out, meal prepping on Sundays. It means rewiring habits you've had for years. It feels slow. It feels impossible. But here's what nobody tells you. By the time you hit $10,000, the habits are automatic. That weekly wealth meeting where you check your budget, it's no longer a chore. It's just what you do on Sunday morning, like brushing your teeth. The automatic transfer that moves $500 from checking to savings every paycheck. You don't even see that money anymore. It's invisible. You've built automaticity. And that's when momentum takes over. Opportunity eyes. Here's the other shift. When your house is on fire, when you're drowning in overdraft fees and past due notices, you can't see opportunities. But when the fire's out, you start noticing things. A certification program that could boost your income by $15,000 a year, you can afford it now. A side business idea that requires a small investment, you've got the capital. A high-value networking event, you're not calculating the Uber fare, you just go. Research shows that when you're not in scarcity mode, you make better long-term decisions. You stop focusing on immediate relief and start building real wealth. The person with $10,000 doesn't just have more money, they have more options, more confidence, and more clarity. All right, let's land this plane. Here's the hard truth that nobody wants to say out loud. No one is coming to save you. There's no fairy godmother, no rich uncle, no mentor with a secret formula, no lottery ticket that's going to make you rich overnight. The only person who's going to change your financial situation is you. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's also liberating because it means you don't have to wait for permission. You don't need anyone's approval. You just need to start. The first step. If you're sitting there thinking, I can't save $10,000, I can barely save $10, I get it, but here's the thing. The number doesn't matter yet. What matters is the habit. Start with $25 a month, or $50, or $10. Open a separate savings account. Name it Freedom Fund. Set up an automatic transfer, and then forget about it. Because the person you become while saving that $10,000 is infinitely more valuable than the money itself. You become someone who keeps promises to themselves, who thinks long-term, who delays gratification, who sees opportunities instead of obstacles. Closing thought. Your first $10,000 won't make you rich, but it will make you free. Free from the 3 a.m. ceiling stare. Free from the panic when your car breaks down. Free from feeling like you're one emergency away from total collapse. And that freedom, that's where your real life begins. So start today, even if it's small, even if it feels impossible. Because the person on the other side of $10,000 is someone you're going to be really proud to meet.